Hello, what's up, friends? Hope you're doing well. How you doing? I am Lady Calamere. I welcome you to my channel. So today I am doing a presentation on Jesus Malverde, which means Jesus of the Bad Green. He is a Mexican saint. He is from Sinaloa, Mexico, and he is not canonized by the Catholic Church, and he is not recognized nor respected by the Catholic Church. He is a suspect saint, and he is a folk saint as well as a folk hero. The Catholic Church does not recognize him, condemns it, and either just says he's just a folk hero, a figment of people's hopelessness or lack of faith in God, or they call him a demon. So here we have Jesus Malverde. So he has a main chapel or temple in Sinaloa, the Culiacan, which is the capital of Sinaloa, Mexico. And he gets along very well with Santa Muerte. So I'll just say that right now. I'm going to clear the air about that. But I want to talk. I don't want to get into Santa Muerte because I know how I get. I get ADHD, and I'll just go blah 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 blah. And this is my 327th presentation. So Jesus Malverde. Okay, so Jesus Malverde, according to scholars, there's no definite proof or evidence that he was born. But that doesn't matter because his believers believed he was born, or either that, it works. He works for them. He works for me. It works for me. It's not that, oh, he works for me, but his powers have helped me. Like you wouldn't believe. He has helped me out of situations that you wouldn't believe. And, I said I will do a presentation on him, and I will. So, he is worshipped by law abiding citizens as well as the criminals. He's worshipped by the saint and the sinner. He's worshipped by the poor as well as those who are rich. And he's got a check. His the belief in him is pretty checkered. Okay, so and I'm going to get into that about why in California, Nebraska, Texas, in I think it's California, Texas, Nebraska, and even Kansas has if they find an image of him in your car, especially among the borderlands of in Mexico and in America, USA, it's reason to believe that you are a drug runner and can be admissible as evidence along with other things that they find. So, like scales, baggies, and stuff, it can be used against you. So, and so if you ever caught wearing this, claim First Amendment rights. All right, it's your First Amendment right: freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom to gather peacefully, and freedom of religion. That's your First Amendment rights. Remember that. And you can also plead the Fifth Amendment, which you don't have to speak. Now, I am not into any of the criminal organization or element. So I'll go into how I feel about him. So, anyways, Jesus Malverde was said to be born as Jesus Juarez Masso, said to be born. This is what pisses off the Catholic Church too about him. December 24th, 1870. And remember, Jesus Malverde died for the poor and the oppressed. And that also pisses off the Catholic Church because Jesus was crucified for this, the poor and the oppressed, and to forgive all sins, to die for your sins. So, anyways, and just like Jesus Malverde hung out with what? Sinners, criminals, and everything else like that, just like Jesus did. So, and plus, they shared the name Jesus, Jesus, yeah. So, anyways, and Jesus is just a Spanish transliteration of the name Jesus. So he was born on a Saturday, December 24th, 1870. All right. And he was executed. He died. Jesus was executed too. On, what is it? Okay, this has got to stop. On a Monday in 1909, May 3rd. May 3rd, 1909. So, of course, Saturdays and Mondays, or celebrations, especially Mondays, are his days. Jesus Malverde means Jesus of the bad green. And get away from her. I don't know if you heard The Exorcist just before. Joker's picking on Lady Boss. So Saturdays and Mondays are sacred, and also May 3rd is also sacred to him. And there are people that feel December 24th is also sacred to him, but definitely May 3rd. But there were other bandits and stories of different bandits that have been conflated with the stories of Jesus Malverde, and that would be Felipe Bachomo and Heraclio Bernal. So there are different accounts of what he did. So let's just talk about why he has the color green. So color green is his main color. There's other colors associated with him that would be white, red, as well as gold. Now, some people have used uh, yellow with the green, but his main color is green. It was said that either how he got that is because in the tradition, the green was associated with bad and evil and stuff like that. But also, when you look at Santa Muerte candles, and you see this is an official candle of Jesus Malverde, the green doesn't represent money unless it's dealing with court proceedings of lawsuits or getting your inheritance. But green is going to be dealing with things of justice, dealing with judgment, dealing with, again, things that are against the law, too. That's another thing. And contra la ley, keeping the police away. So if you see contra la ley, now you know what that means. Keep the law away. Contra la ley, keep the police away. But it also represents being protected against, uh, there are good officers, but also dirty officers, officers on the take, officers that are on the cut or a payroll of criminal organizations. And there are some laws in the land where it's not good. It's under a dictatorship, meaning be careful what you write, be careful what you say, because it could land you in prison or worse. So in some cases, the law doesn't work for people. So that's why we have green. But also he works green because it says he hung out and he hid in bushes. And he was a bandit. He's a generous bandit. And he also tied banana leaves to him. And he covered himself in camouflage, like guerrilla warfare. So the story of Jesus Malverde, of why he helps the poor, the oppressed, and the outcast, those that don't fit in, the black sheep. And in 1970, he started becoming a narco saint. And now he's known as a narco saint. Interesting enough, there's a few other narco saints. Santa Muerte is known as a narco saint. And you know what? Two official saints are used as narco saints. Kid you not, Our Lady of Guadalupe and Saint Jude. So yeah. But of course they're canonized saints and they're using them wrongly, you know? So yeah. And Jesus Malverde does get along with Our Lady of Guadalupe. So, which is actually an Aztec goddess, because that's where she was seen and appeared on a site of an ancient Aztec goddess, which translate as our mother. And anyways, so there are stories that either he was a tailor, a carpenter, or a railroad worker. He was said to be born of Mayo descent and of the Mayo people, and that his parents either died of hunger from being impoverished or a curable disease. And from there, he got mad. He learned, of course, he learned how to work a gun. He learned how to pick locks, breaking and entering, and being a bandit. And he learned how, guerrilla warfare tactics, how to fight. And what he was is a Mexican Zorro. I am tired of this. The Mexican Zorro, or the Mexican version of Robin Hood. I'm sorry, cat fights. And what he did was steal from the greedy. He's even, took their lives when he had to. And he stole from the rich and gave to the needy, the poor. He gave them gold, money, medicine, clothing. What do we have here today? Oh, okay, you can have that. He gave them things that they needed to survive and live. And he didn't keep he gave most of it away. Of course he needed to eat too, so yeah, that's what he did. And he still continues to do this, and he's a miracle worker. So Jesus Malverde may not be for everyone. I'm starting to hear that he won't help white people, really. There's white people that actually pray to him and they get help. I got help. I mean, the other day you could see the bruise on my hand. Well, I had a cyst that keeps growing back, and I had it drained, but it just keeps coming back, and I'm right-handed, so I pushed on it, to do my, because it was hurting and to get rid of it. And I guess I was a little bit too rough with it, and I couldn't turn my hand. If I did this, it would hurt. I tried to pick up, scoop up the litter, and the scooper would drop out. I was like, I've had enough. Okay, I go to Malverde, and I said, please help. I do a prayer to him, and I wake up the next day, and it's pretty much near 100%. No complaints. I still have a little bruise, and I don't want to press on it, but I can literally do this. I couldn't do this before. It would drop out of my hand. So, yeah, Jesus Malverde is pretty much an all-purpose saint for the most part. He's non-judgmental. Okay. He does healing, fertility. He'll help you find love. He'll help bring that lover back. He'll help you find a good relationship to get married. He'll help you have pregnancy. He'll help you have a safe delivery of the baby. He's used to protect children. He's used to protect those doing criminal things. So I'm not condoning it, and I'm not going to sit here and be judgmental. But things like criminal activities, I don't want to name it because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't make money from this anyway, so whatever. I don't care. So I love to make. I love money, but yeah, I do this for free. So he helps with healing. He gets you out of impossible situations. He's used to help people to immigrate, whether legally or illegally, to another country for a better life. He helps people to get a job. He helps people to get a better promotion in your job. He can help you with your career. He can help you get money. He can help you with gambling. He can help you if you're doing if you have a charitable organization to get help with that, whether it's for animals or people or maybe for the environment. He can help you with that to get things on the road. He can help you, get into school. He can help you better your life so you don't have to be on the bottom. He can help you climb that social ladder. He can help you get away from a certain situation. As for hexing, that's okay. I wouldn't do it. Only if you're being abused. And we're talking about in literal danger, and not to curse them, but more to bind them or maybe get them arrested, to deal with justice and say, hey, my ex-husband, Jesus, like say you went to Jesus Malverde and you told him you went to the police and you're afraid and you want a judgment to protect you, to keep this person in prison, or maybe your ex-wife, so he doesn't tolerate that abuse. So if you feel abused, please get help. But he can help you while you get the legal help and all the things you need to do. If you need to get the police, if you need to get child protective agency, and you got that on board, get him on board, because he can help. He can make judgment in your favor to protect you and your family from that other person, whether it be your parents or your sibling, or protecting for your children. Okay, he'll do something like that. So he's also good for any judgment. So whether you're having a lawsuit, maybe this company caused you damage and now you can't work, or maybe, you got hurt in the store and now you lost your job because, you're recovering. He can help you with those lawsuits. He can also help you with child custody cases, especially when, you both deserve 50%, or maybe the other parent doesn't deserve the child because they're, you know, I don't want to talk about it. They're just bad. They're just bad. So he can help you. He can also be helped and called, even if you did something wrong and you're being arraigned. He can, you know, make evidence get destroyed or lost, and that's has happened, or that the prosecutor is illy prepared or something, or where the judge could say, I could sentence you to prison, but I'd rather sentence you, confinement to your home, or, a lighter sentence, or no sentence at all, or early release from prison. You know, he can also do for protection, whether you're in prison or whether you're in the military, or he protects those who are messengers. I say you have to travel from point A to point B, and to get from point A to point B, you got to go to a dangerous neighborhood. He can be used to protect you every day or every night. He's also great for traveling, for business or pleasure, no matter what. So whether you're traveling by plane, boat, car, he's your traveling buddy. Okay, he'll protect you. He'll be used to protect you from accidents, to be protected from the law, to be protected from dangerous people or from criminals. So if you're traveling, he can protect you. He can also be used to help you get out of the criminal world and to actually get a better job. When you think about it, JD Delay did that. I really appreciate JD Delay. I love him. Check his channel out. So he used to be of the criminal element, and he turned his life around. So just like that, Jesus Malverde can also help you to be like JD Delay and turn your life around too, if you want to. So he can also protect you from criminals and from rival gangs. This needs to stop. Why are you doing this? You had no interest of beating each other up until I do this presentation. It never fails. Never fails. So he protects those who have been abandoned or who have abandonment issues, those who are disabled, those who are mentally ill and suffering. He also is good one for drug counselors, and he's good for you to help you. Even though he deals with the narco, he can help you get clean and sober. So if you're on your journey to get clean and sober, he's one to pray to. So he's good if you're a sponsor in AA or NA or any of the like Overeaters or Gamblers Anonymous. He can help you, or he can help you find a good sponsor. So he can help you end addictions. Okay. Also, if you're in the business of like mailing packages, maybe you have a small business that you're from New York and you want to mail, maybe you got a crystal shop and you want to mail like a rose quartz or a statue. You could pray to Jesus Malverde that it gets to its destination in one piece and that it's not stolen. So he's also a patron for those who are sex workers. So people who are the criminal element, like in Mexico, or the prostitutes, or they've been in the system and they're just not invited back in the church, have a place with Santa Muerte or Jesus Malverde. So why am I keep bringing up Santa Muerte? Well, there are statues here. Let me tell you something. There are statues with Jesus Malverde, but and Santa Muerte overshadows him. Like here's the height of Santa Muerte. I mean, Jesus Malverde, Santa Muerte would be like this big over him. And then there is also one with Saint Jude and Santa Muerte. And there's a trip, it's called the Trinity of Help. Jesus Malverde with St. Jude, and then overshadowed by a giant Santa Muerte. And they're all in one statue, and they all have like fixed with the seeds and stuff. So if you do put him on a Santa Muerte altar, and she does like her own place, and so does Jesus Malverde, because not everyone has a big spot. Ask her first and ask him first. Do a pendulum reading. So, and ask the pendulum a yes and a no, and see which way the pendulum goes for you as a no and a yes. And that's a maybe, ask, prefer not to answer, ask for a searching, and ask several times what's a yes, what's a no, and then ask. I taught about pendulums. Jesus Malverde can be used for prayers or even in witchcraft. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, you're done. Who's that in there? You're not going to bother Sir Mew Mew. We're not doing this. So he's used by Christians and non-Christians alike. He's judgmental. He's not judgmental. I'm sorry. He's not judgmental. So why does he look like this? So let's go. Let me turn on the light here. So here we see him in a white shirt, black pants, slacks, black pants. So he's got incense all over him. Short black hair, pencil thin mustache, a tie that goes a neck tie that goes two ways. This is usually black, but in some statues it's red, but it's usually black. He's young, like around the 20s or 30s, handsome, thin, not pencil thin, but thin. And he's a white shirt, like a Western shirt with pocket lapels here, and with marijuana leaves, money, gold. You'll see a lot of coins. So, and you'll see all over his thing. And originally, it was seen as a bust. So, have you seen the show Breaking Bad? And the DEA agent had it on his desk, and the other agent said, "Hey, why do you have that on your desk? Who is that?" And he said, "Well, this is Jesus Malverde." And he goes, "Why do you have him?" And he goes, "Know thine enemy." So, yeah, there's actually a DEA museum, and they actually have them there. So there are good people, average people, and then there are also cartel members that worshipped him. One of them was El Chapo, who not only was a devotee of Santa Muerte, but also a devotee of Jesus Malverde. So his sacred plant is cannabis sativa. Well, cannabis. So indica and sativa. And again, I own, where it's legal, okay? Or medical, I have to say this. Medical, if you got a medical card, or where it's legal to have, or gummies. So, is he approachable? If you are a greedy person, he will not want to help you. So let's talk about the cartels. In the one in Culacan, the Jesus Malverde Temple, this place, okay, the place, the owner gets money and he gives money to the needy, or he helps the needy with food, with clothes, and give out, oh God, I'm about to get very high, crutches when the person needs it, or a cane, or even a wheelchair. So imagine you have no wheelchair and you can't walk, but this chapel gives it to you for free. And now you have mobility, and they give you food, and they give you, get you some medicine that you need. Maybe you got a headache and you need something, you know. That's very beautiful. And this is the spirit of Jesus Malverde. He's very giving. And let me tell you something. Jesus Malverde himself never had a legend of being a drug runner. Let me dismiss that right now. So now good people and journalists go to this chapel and they buy things, and and it helps the owner to, put food on his table too. but it helps put food on other people's table. And also, not only do they pay for people's coffin and funeral and things that are necessary funerals, like the coffin, the burial, the flowers and stuff. So maybe plate of cookies for people. So yeah. And the cartels. They're like, oh, thank you for getting, you know, this done and that done. I can't say. And then they donate lots of money, but not to this chapel, but not just to the chapel. They donate money to help, keep a hospital open or to make a hospital, to build roads, to uh, help build schools or keep schools open and, give some things to the community. I mean, and also in parts of Mexico, like some of the barrios, usually the only jobs that you were able to really get is unfortunately a sex worker or drug running. That's very sad, man. That is really sad. So, but Jesus Malverde expects if you get money, you better share it with those who are in need. Whether it's giving to doing charitable work, volunteering, giving out money or food, or sharing with an elderly neighbor or someone who is disabled or less fortunate, you better help. Now, another thing, if you make a promise to Jesus Malverde, hey, if you do such and such, is why he has an apple, if because he helped my hand. So if you help me, I'll give you an apple. You better not uh deliberately cheat him. He's very understanding. He really is. So if I couldn't get the apple in time, I'm like, oh God, I'll give him a piece of chocolate and say, I'm gonna get you the apple. I just didn't get to the store. And then I think Jesus Malverde would like a green apple. So I gave him a green apple. Because he can turn, like if he helps you say win a jackpot at Las Vegas, oh, he'll just turn that blessing into a curse. He'll make your life so miserable. So you better come through. And he doesn't ask for a lot for himself. He really doesn't. But people do give him a lot. So remember, keep your promises. Number one, you, your word is your bond to whether a cat, a dog, a person, inanimate object, a deity, a saint, an angel, a goetic spirit, your ancestors. Your word is your bond. Try to keep it. Do your best. Okay, do your best to keep it. Make sure you're able to keep it. Number two, it's only fair. What if someone promised you something and they didn't come through? How would that make you feel? It's not right. It's betrayal. So I'm not into that. My word is my bond. So, and there are times, and Jesus Malverde will know sometimes if I promise an apple, he may end up coming up with candy and chocolates and maybe an extra apple. So it's sort of like if someone owed you five and then he came back with $10 plus a box of chocolate that you like. Are you gonna really complain? No. So let's go on. He is a very giving, loving spirit, and I just feel him right now. Wow. So, how did he get his looks? Well, it was said that the bust, so what was his name? Carlos Garcia decided that looked around for a picture or a photograph. He couldn't find any photos, even though there was a rumor that one did exist. So he decided he wanted to make busts of him, and he felt that he should be a good looking, young, light skinned, handsome fella. And he wanted them to look like, at that time, there were two popular singers at that time. And it was Pedro Infante and Jorge, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Jorge Negrete. And he made them look like a combination of these men. But I swear, some pictures look like sort of like a Vincent Price. Some people say he looks like Charles Gable, kind of. So he ordered these busts, and people bought them like hotcakes. So he ordered like around 200, then 200, then 500, and then thousands, and they were selling like hotcakes. There's even a Jesus Malverde beer now, which a lot of his worshippers and even those on the other side of the law will drink it up like it was going out of style. You know what I mean? So there is a Jesus Malverde beer. In fact, Indio products didn't have images of him at one time. And now the president of Indio Products decided to make, perfumes and candles and statues. And guess what? He's all over Mexico, especially Sinaloa area, and in the United States, Florida, California, um, South and North Carolina, New York, you know, Virginia, all over, and Texas, Nebraska, Kansas. It's all over. And guess what? Recently, statues were bought by places in Italy. So he made himself he's landing in Italy. Yay! So this is a candle I brought, and I promised him when I go to a store and I find a candle, I'll buy it. And it was like $9. But I promise, and there's a prayer that says, O Malverde, I pray for your mercy and that you alleviate my pain. You that dwell in the glory of God, listen to the sufferings of this your humble servant. Grant me health, well-being, and happiness. So you can he's called the generous bandit. Oh, Jesus Malverde, generous bandit, angel of the poor, saint of the oppressed, folk hero, folk saint of Sinaloa, Mexico. To thee I pray. And then you talk to him. You could say in the name of spirit, air, fire, water, earth, in the name of the god and goddess, in the name of land, sea, and sky, sun, moon, and earth. You go on with that. So you can tailor it to your needs. It doesn't necessarily have to be Christian. What does Jesus Malverde like? Let's go! Mexican food. Seriously, beans and rice. Tortillas. Corn. He loves apples. He loves fruit. So, especially fruits that are found in Mexico. He likes tequila. One could say he likes agave. He loves cigarettes, cigars, tobacco, smoking tobacco, chewing tobacco. He likes hard liquors, margaritas, beer, even the Jesus Malverde beer, Mexican beer, IPAs, booze, whiskey, rum, scotch. Uh, he likes candy. Can't go wrong with candy. He likes chocolate. I mean, yeah, he likes hot chocolate. He likes chocolate milk. He likes chocolate, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, and the so-called chocolate, white chocolate, which is not really chocolate. But yeah, he likes that. He likes fruits, stuff from that you grow in the garden, because he's also a patron of farmers. So he helps farmers grow the crops. So in return, they give him some of the crops, like corn or apples or stuff. So yeah, of course water. Water is always good. He loves flowers, and especially roses. But he loves flowers. Be careful with your animals, because it could be toxic. It is toxic. A lot of these flowers and roses will give your cats the runs, so be careful. We don't want our babies to get hurt. And he'll understand, especially red roses. He loves those. Um, so during during Patty's days, of course, there's always like these green carnations. You can give it to him because that's his color and say, here you go. Bananas. Banana leaves he hidden. So bananas. He likes, so people have given him soda, Coca-Cola. That's really popular in Mexico, Coca-Cola more than Pepsi. He likes sodas. He likes juices. He likes women. If women just flash him hi, yeah, he really adores women. You know, he likes rocks. Okay, so his traditional is that when he was executed, he was allowed a proper burial, and no one dared to get him down to his bodies fell down, and the peasants start people that start believing him and remembered him start putting rocks over his body, his bones. So it was a Karen. So he likes a pile of rocks that you could put on your altar or just a rock. So he likes crystals. So you can get fancy. You can just get a regular rock, a regular pebble, or you can get fancy. You can give him rose quartz. You can give him green crystals too, especially like emeralds, moldavites, which are expensive. Um, he doesn't expect that, but yeah, he likes jade, which is green jade can be expensive. Moss agate. You think about things in his color, and also crystals that you like. Maybe you're attracted to lapis lazuli. This is your favorite stone in the whole world. I love it. I treasure it. Here you go, Jesus Malverde. And you give it to him out of love because that's your favorite, and it means something to you. So it's going to mean something to him. He loves gold. People give him gold and silver and coins or and money. Also doing charitable works in his name, and you can give that money that he has and say, "Can I give it to the poor?" Or to charities that help the earth, charities that help animals, or research centers that research cancer, and or diabetic research, or to help, make a wish foundation for kids to have their final wish, and hopefully they make it. But something good like that, or St. Jude's Hospital, he'll love that, especially St. Jude because he does work with St. Jude. So yeah, you can give it to that. So bread, tortilla bread, rice. I said that. Um, Images of weapons, uh, guns. Seriously, people put guns on his altar. It could be a toy gun. Doesn't have to be real. It could look realistic if you want. But you put it on his altar or a picture, or you could even artistically make one and give it to him. Something. Not don't do anything illegal. Okay, don't have any illegal things on your altar, please. Okay, don't break laws. But people also put bullets on his altar, and they put gummies and special brownies, things that deal with. And if you're in USA, you know what 420 is. Yeah. He likes perfume. There's also a Jesus Malverde perfume, but he does like a men's cologne. He does like rose water, so I use that. Some people feel that he likes Florida water, so if you feel he likes it, you can give him Florida water. He loves incense, so copal is a very good thing. Uh, so yeah, those are just some offerings that you can give him. So there are stories about how he died. There's one picture where it's famously where it shows him with a rope around his neck and drawn around a branch, and he's going to be hung. And it was said that he was hung for, his outlaw, being an outlaw, being a bandito. Yeah, fight for the poor and the oppressed. There is also another story where his leg got hurt and it got gangrene. He told his compadre, he said, "Listen, mm, it's not looking good. There's 10,000 peso reward for me. What I want you to do is kill me, decapitate me, bring my head to the governor, get that reward, and give that reward to all those in need." And that was done. So as another one, he was put in front of a firing squad. Different ways he was. Another one that his actually friends actually betrayed him for the money and chopped his feet off, and drug him to town, and where he was executed. So, friends, at that time, Sinaloa's governor Francisco Canedo was his. It was like the different. It was like between the sheriff of Nottingham and Robin Hood. It was that type of relationship. So there was one time when the governor said, "I'll offer you a pardon if you can break into my mansion and steal my sword." Well, you remember Artalicus of Xena, warrior princess, the king of thieves? Where he can break any lock, he can get out of any binds, he can get out of any prison cell because he's the king of thieves. I'm very proud of it. He broke into the governor's mansion and stole the sword and put on the wall, "Jesus M was here." And there's another one they says, "If you can steal my daughter out of this guarded mansion, I'll give you a pardon." And which wasn't honored, by the way. So he did. He stole the governor's daughter. But he did not hurt her. He did not molest her. He did not harm her in any way. And he did it because he could do it, and he gave her back unharmed, unscathed, not a hair harmed on her head. He's not that way. He wasn't that type of person. He did not do any ugly things like that. Okay? He did not force himself on people like that. That's disgusting. So there's another time when uh he did it just out of a dare because he just didn't like the governor because the governor was just really horrible. And at that time, the Mexico had a dictator, and it wasn't good for the poor. Just got poorer and poorer and poorer, and had no food, no medical help, no nothing. You know, just eat dirt and die. The only thing you're good for is slave labor, which is horrible. So of course, Jesus Malverde was a bandit. So there are stories about how an old woman lost her cow and she prayed to him and she found her cow, and the stories just kept coming in of, he did this for me. Well, he healed me. Well, he helped me. Or and it build and build and build. So by his chapel there was like a Karen, and it was said that if you able to brave enough to steal his stone from there, you ask for a boon and he gives it to you. You bring that rock with another one. So of course the rock pile keeps coming up. So there is said that you can take a rock and pray to it and throw it in the name of Jesus Malverde and ask him to help you. And you can also build your own. If you are able to have room, you could build your own little cairn and put like rocks for each time he gave you something. So yes, there is so talking about Jesus Malverde, you can get him as a scapula be careful with wearing it, or a necklace of him. Uh, you can also there's also the Jesus Malverde rosary, but I don't know of any traditional Jesus Malverde rosary prayers. I have a Santa Muerte rosary prayer, and I do Santa Muerte rosary prayers, and there are non-Christian ones which I use. That's just praying to her. And then, of course, there's Catholic versions of it with added Santa Muerte. But I do have a rosary of her. So also in temples, it's like there are people, whether good or bad, if he answered the prayers, they would hire musicians to play at the chapel. Uh, and during his celebrations, uh, food is given out, especially to the hungry, which is really nice. So that's what he's about. He's about sharing. He's a spirit of sharing and caring. He really cares. He really cares deeply, and he's not judgmental. So maybe people may say, "Oh, he's a closed tradition, whatever." He answers people black, white, brown, red, doesn't matter. Albino, they don't care. He's answering prayers apparently in Italy. So you've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. What is going on here? Where are you? Where is my little troublemaker today? So he's also good to protect you from supernatural forces that are bad. If someone's putting a curse on you, he can bind it. He can send it away. He can break it. He can stop people from sending energies. He can ward your home. So he can protect you from enemy spirits. He can protect you from real and imagined dangers, real and imagined curses. He can help free you from them if they were placed upon you. He can uncross a situation. He's also good for Abre Camino, meaning open the way, opening road opener. So if you see the Abre Camino, uh, Abre Camino, sorry, and that's the opening of the roads. So he can open the roads, open the pathways, clear the ways for you. So if you know someone who's going through addiction, who's really trying to get help, you can call him too. So he's very skilled. He's really giving. And if he loves dancing, he loves music, he loves parties. He really does. He loves celebration. He loves cake. So he loves, that's another thing you can give him, cake. He loves pies. He loves pies, cakes, cupcakes, muffins. So fruit, dried fruit, whatever. He loves songs. He loves celebration. He loves gathering. He really does. And another people that do is called a skin offering, where they do tattoos of him. That's called a skin offering, and that's another offering that you can do, especially if he helps you. But be aware, if you have a tattoo of him, you may want to keep it out of sight. That's up to you. As far as animal sacrifices, it's it's not traditionally done. I haven't heard of anything like that, or awful human sacrifices, which even Santa Muerte doesn't accept that. In fact, uh, yeah, traditionally even Santa Muerte doesn't accept animal sacrifices. So, if like as far as offering your own blood, I never did that with him. I never took a little diabetic lancet and put blood on him. I offer him my tear. You can offer him tears. You can do the blood of tears thing where you get so upset and you feel your eyes are burning and you're crying and it feels like really warm or hot, and then you put it in your fingers and you visualize this blood and you throw it at him. Okay, this is enough. What's going on? So yes, you can do that. There you are, little boo. You're making all that noise. You're pretending to be a scary ghost. I was about to say, is there a spirit in here? Little boo. Lady Boss. Yeah, I heard roughly. I was like, what the heck? Is there a cat? I think it's gotta be a cat. Ooh, it's not spooky season yet. So yeah. So do good for others. Do good for a hungry animal. Be good to someone. It doesn't cost anyone to be kind. And that's what Jesus Malverde wants you to do. Say hello to someone. So if you see someone suffering, hey, is there anything I can do? Maybe you see someone trying to hold back tears. Kindness can mean the difference between someone lives or someone unalives themselves. You know what I mean? It's always better to hear someone's story than read their obituary. So yeah, Jesus Malverde is a very great spirit, a great saint, a great hero. He's called, some people call him Lord, or they call him uh wow, almost at an hour. But he's really good to have on your side. So if you do good. Give food to an animal. Donate some cans of food. You know, if you go to a pet store and you know this place that gives out food, buy an extra 2 or 3 cans so that you can give it to this place where people can get it to help feed their dog or cat. Maybe they're suffering and that animal means the world to them. And it's just things like that. And you can do that in his name. So if you like my video, please share it with your friends and family and your uh with other internet handles, whatever have you, YouTube, or you share it on YouTube or Facebook, or I don't know, Twitter. Like and subscribe because that's a way to pay me. That would be great. Maybe one day I'll have a Patreon account or something. So please do that, and stay safe out there. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, blessed be.